Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Nick Month 2. This time it's personal. And it's once again time to go back to the vault. From the vault. And we are talking about another Drake Nudge episode this week, or today. The Wedding. The Wedding is another frustrating episode because it's one of those stuck episodes that they did a lot of in season 4. Because they probably were too lazy to write real scripts. Let's just get them stuck here. They're stuck in Mrs. Haver's house in Vicious Tiberius. They are stuck in a helicopter. They are stuck in a treehouse. And now they're stuck on the side of the road on the way to the wedding. It shouldn't even be called a wedding. They don't go to a wedding. No. And this episode falls apart right fucking away. Because they have to write these characters as stupid idiots in order for this plot to work. Even though a very good plot point, a plot hole, if you will, is brought up twice in this episode. And neither of them think, oh, wait a minute. Although the second time couldn't really do anything. But yeah. So we start with the cold open. And talk about the great Aunt Catherine, who's never mentioned before, never mentioned again. Apparently she's almost 90 and she's getting married. And Josh wonders if Drake hates her as much as he does. And it's revealed that they were actually right next to each other the whole time. Which is a fun little gag. But yeah, everyone's getting ready to go. Walter's honking the horn because Jonathan Goldstein's not in this episode. He's just someone honking the horn. They're all getting ready. Mom tells Megan to zip her up, and when she turns around, there's no zipper back there. So, point that out. Craig and Eric show up because they're going to borrow Josh's laptop while they're gone. And Drake just hands the whole thing to Craig and Eric, and they leave. Because Josh is taking too long to get ready. Then a part of this whole thing is that Josh took way too long, his zipper was stuck. Or something. Who cares? Just come downstairs first. You know, when you're waiting. Greg or Eric calls up. One of them calls up. And he says, I'm stuck. Zipper's stuck. Just come downstairs first. Fix it later. The guys won't care. Drake will probably laugh at him. But he gets down there. And he's like, Drake, where's my laptop case? I'll give it to Craig and Eric. The whole case? Yeah, apparently the keys to their mom's SUV. So we know the mom has a vehicle. Were in there. And his cell phone. And his cell phone. One more time. And his cell phone. So, Drake's idea, hey, we'll call Eric's cell phone. We'll just call him. Eric doesn't have a cell phone because Papa Nichols threw it against the wall, which is continuity from the Demonator episode, which was also on my least favorite list. And Craig family doesn't believe in phones. But do you see the plot hole here? Let me tell you again. Drake gave them the whole laptop case, which only has a laptop, but the keys to the mom's SUV and Josh's cell phone. Call Josh's cell phone until they answer. Then they can come back to the house, give them the keys, and they can drive. It is a plot hole, and the characters are written specifically to not realize that they can do that, otherwise the episode won't happen. But you could still do that, right? By having the mom say, oh, don't forget to fill the car up with gas to Drake. But he doesn't say anything to Josh, so the car runs out of gas on the way there. You could have done that and not make them look stupid, because Drake would forget to fill the car with gas because that's a Drake thing. But both of them, neither of them realizing they could call Josh's cell phone makes no sense. Josh would at least be the one to speak up. And if it all amounts to is them calling and never getting an answer, fine. But still, it's a plot hole that they don't try to call the phone. So instead, Drake gets the idea to call Trevor. because he's reliable, and they borrow his Trans Am. And they put the cake in the back because they got to bring the cake there. But the car breaks down after a well-timed joke. It's like, he's going to get us there. And then the next scene, it cuts to them having to stop. So they got to figure out what's wrong, right? They get out. They look. Like there's an issue. They're not exactly sure. Even though they fixed the whole Doom buggy together back in season 1. But now, magically, because the script says so, they don't know how to do shit. But they fixed the Doom buggy before, which has an engine, which they would need to work on. But they don't know anything now, right? I'm just saying. Then they both need to pee. So rather than one of them go and the other stays, and they take turns, they both leave to go, well, I can only assume is 10 miles away to pee. Because they walk off screen. Then the cops show up, one of them, Kevin Farley, give them a ticket, and take off. There are 2 issues here. 1, how fucking far did they walk away? Sorry, I'm going to swear a lot in this episode. This episode infuriates me. But it's not my worst episode. I know. How far away did Drake and Josh go to pee? 2, the cops pull up to a car. Stuck on the side of the road. The hood is up. And don't think, hey, maybe something happened here. Maybe we should call a tow truck to come pick this up. No, they get a ticket and walk off. And then the guys show up just as they've left. But fear not, another set of headlights are coming down the road. But turns out these guys are not friendly. They steal the $105 that they have and take off. Yeah, because they know they had no cell phones. They have nowhere to go. So now what do they do? Well, they find a tackle box in the back. Or not tackle box, not fishing. A toolbox in the back with a first aid kit that contains a quarter, a can of salmon, opened, an ice tray, and half a shoe. But Drake finds because at this point, Drake has locked himself out of the car when they were trying to look at because they got it running at some point. It looks like it ate Josh's jacket. It looks like it was running, but it's locked. He gets out, and he tries to fix it, and it's locked. So they can't get in. So he decides to use a coat hanger, Drake does, to open it. And this is confusing. So Josh is very close. He pulls up, Drake pulls up, he pokes Josh in the eye. Josh says his eye is bleeding, but it's not. And then Josh pokes Drake in the eye instead of telling Drake to go ahead and try again because he's so angry here. And then the tow truck driver shows up. I can only imagine the cops called him. It's kind of fast, but this is a half-hour episode. And it's Barney from the Amanda Show, who was always throwing Penelope Tate, trying to chase her around. So, yeah. But his name is Leslie here, and they almost got a tow out of there, but Drake makes fun of his name because it's a girl's name. Leslie Nielsen. Could be a guy's name too. But, no, he makes fun of his name, so he takes off. Yeah. So, one other plot hole I have been avoiding. So, it's at some point that Josh asks to use Drake's cell phone. And Drake says, I don't have one. I dropped it in a bowl of soup. But, so they, and then it's at this point, where's your cell phone? Oh, Craig and Eric have it. What about yours? It dropped in a bowl of soup. Once again, he brings up that Craig and Eric have Josh's cell phone. And this is the point where they should be like, you know what? We should have called your phone when we were at the house. Oh, yeah. But they don't, because that's why I'm stupid. And at one point, after they get locked out, Josh hands him a big rock and says, "Kill me." Drake then says no, drops it on Josh's foot. And I bring this up because this is another plot hole. Use the rock to break open the door! Use the rock, break through the window, and get inside the car. Come on. But no. And then later, when Leslie shows up, the tow truck driver shows up, they're like, "Hey, can you open the door?" Sure. Takes the crowbar, busts it open. And they said, "Well, we could do that." And Barney, Leslie replies, "Well, why didn't you?" "Yeah, why didn't you? You had a fucking rock right there. Why didn't you?" Because the plot said they couldn't do it. And I hate that. You're just spreading out the runtime. That's all this is. Not to mention, they could have just started walking and gotten further and probably gotten a good way ahead. They would have left the cake behind. I had to bring the cake with, I guess, but I don't know. That cake's been sitting outside too long anyway. But anyway, so after Leslie takes off, they were, "Oh, it's open, sure." They get it started, they get in the car, and it sets on fire. And they just get out and leave. They leave the cake. They're not getting the beach house. That's why they're doing this, by the way. They want their great Aunt Catherine's beach house. They're not getting it. They just walk off. So an episode titled The Wedding. In an episode titled The Wedding, we never actually get to the goddamn wedding. So why is it called The Wedding? It should just be Stranded. Right? Makes more sense. Can you tell I do not like this episode? I do not like it. That's how I am. I don't. Because all the events that have to happen, all the things that have to happen for them to get stuck on the road, makes no sense. They say, at the beginning of this episode, Josh states his cell phone was in the laptop case. So why don't they call his cell phone from the house? You just get on the phone and you call it until they pick up. You keep going until it pick up. And then they pick up and you say, "Hey, Eric," or Craig, "my mom's car keys are in my laptop bag. Can you drive back and bring them to me, please?" They'd be like, "Sure thing, Josh." And bada boom. And again, you don't even need that. You don't need, all you need is that their mom says, "You boys pick up the cake and don't forget to fill it up with gas before you take up on the drive, or you're going to run out." Because I haven't had time to fill it up yet. And Drake, being Drake, forgets that part, but remembers to grab the cake. Because it makes sense. It makes sense for Drake to not do that. The cell phone thing is another thing. Drake doesn't have his. You can have Josh's phone get destroyed somehow or something. Or the common thing for being in the middle of nowhere, there's no service. He tries to call, bing, 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 boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, no service. That's all you need to do. You don't need to go the extra mile, creating a plot hole just to get his cell phone out of the way. Because then the question is, okay, they're going to take his cell phone so it's not in play. But they could still call his cell phone. And the fact that neither character, especially Josh, never thinks to call his own phone makes no sense. I can see Drake not thinking of it, but Josh, that would be the first thing I would think of. Well, they have my cell phone, why don't I just call it? Even if it's to just for them not to answer and they have to get Trevor's Trans Am anyway. Who cares? Or hey, doesn't Megan have a cell phone? Doesn't the mom have a cell phone? Can't you just call them and say, "Hey, Drake accidentally gave Craig and Eric my laptop case has the extra car keys in it. Can you come back and give me your set, please?" Otherwise, we're going to be late. That's another thing they could have done. But again, they can't think smart, or the episode can't happen. So they have to be stupid. And I bet you're wondering, wow, he really doesn't like this episode. How is Theater Thug worse than this? You know, I bet it's one of those cases where it depends on the day. Either one could be my worst one. Just so happened that the day I made the list, Theater Thug was. And that wasn't even the one that was fresh in my mind, but I guess when I was thinking about it, that was the one I thought it was the worst. So, I don't know, but I really don't like this episode. But, yeah. So that brings the Drake and Josh portion of this to an end. Next time, we'll go back to Victorious just one more time. But, for now, what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me know so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.